Today is Sunday, starting my vlog week a little bit early, mostly to try and encourage me on Monday morning to actually get up and start it. We're going on my long run for the week. This is an hour and 20-minute run. So I've got my Camelback full of infinite nutrition speed today. I've also got a snacket pocket full of lollies. And I listen to zombies run while I run to give me something a bit more entertaining. Just made it up the biggest hill. I can tell that I'm tired from yesterday and the week because I dropped off my pace a bit, but I made it up. So time on feet is still happening. And the run is done. Tomorrow we start triathlon assessment week with an FTP test on the bike. Hello everyone, today is Monday. I almost forgot to start filming. I actually got on the bike and started the warm-up and then realized I was meant to film a vlog. So this is me doing an FTP test in my cold garage, hence the warm-up still has a jersey on, but that will come off once I start doing the actual test and the efforts. We're running it via Zwift today. This is my nice setup in my messy garage. As you can see, all of the stuff. But that's okay, because that's what garages are all for, right? So I'm going to jump back in and do this, finish this warm-up, do the test, see what I get through. And this is why I wanted to film this particular week, because testing is important with your training to make sure you are doing the right things at the right time in the right zones, because that makes sure your training is accurate and you are adapting as required. I don't know what audio is going to be like, but I'm halfway through the cool down and I'm still, that was hard. That was really hard. FTP test done. That was really, really hard. I don't know whether something went wrong with my trainer or what, but it felt like I just couldn't make it any easier, regardless of how do I explain it? So basically, I couldn't push any faster than about 85 RPMs, just because it was so hard on the trainer. So I don't know whether it's because I didn't have gears working, which is not ideal for an FTP test. You want to be able to downshift on those, or what, but it just felt like that was it. That was the effort level I had to push in if I was going to finish this test off and not quit out. Which goes to show that I do have the strength for it when the time's right. And I don't know the math yet, but my FTP just skyrocketed. I think it's the highest FTP I've had ever. So be prepared for a bunch of Instagram reels about how I increase my FTP by an enormous amount, and I'm going to put it down to strength training, because I don't know how else to explain it. It's either strength training or magic. No, it's not true. It's totally strength training because my legs are stronger. I'm gonna go eat some food now because that was a big effort. Hello, Hopper. So today is Tuesday of assessment week, and that means it's actually a rest day because we need a break between doing the two most hardest tests, the FTP bike test, and tomorrow is the 5K time trial. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning, which means it is a swim morning. And as much as I wanted to stay in bed, I do have to actually work on my swimming. So we are here today to do that. And this evening is my 5K time trial. I would love to swap them around, but Wednesday is always an evening run because I have a group that I go running with. swim is done. And home, now go home for some breakfast. Wednesday evening time trial. We'll see how this goes and if I've improved at all. It's also New Shoes Day. I'm not sure if it's going to be a good idea for a time trial or a bad idea, but we'll find out that too. Hey guys, I don't know what the lighting's going to look like, but the 5K time trial went fantastic. New shoes were helpful, just to let everyone know. They were exactly the same model of shoe that I was wearing, so that did help in preventing any kind of issues or blisters or anything like that. I think I averaged about a 4:40 pace, which is pretty good. And I wasn't nearly as taxed as the last time I did this kind of test, which is fantastic news. I haven't done the math yet on what my threshold pace is, but I will do the math when I get home and figure it out. Yay for harder efforts now during training. This is what it's all about, right? Thursday morning. I have a nice easy bike ride after the time trial last night. These kind of rides are really important to have after your harder session so that you can do some active recovery. Easy ride is done. I'm feeling much more alive and awake. It took about halfway through the ride before I started feeling good though, and that is also why we do these things after hard sessions, to fully flush everything and recover. Hi guys, it's Saturday. I woke up to my alarm and I immediately went back to sleep. I was very, very tired. I missed my swim session and I didn't do my strength session later that day either because I was still feeling a bit weak and tired. And this is why it's important to listen to your body, because if I'd pushed through on days like that, I still would be tired today and waking up and not feeling ready for this ride. And this ride is one of the more important ones as my longer ride of the week. A bit short this week because this was testing week, but it is the important ride of the week as well. So there are different levels of tiredness though, and sometimes I wake up a bit tired and I'll still get up and go do things, and sometimes I will wake up extremely tired and know that it is so much better and beneficial for me and my body to just go back to sleep until I have to get up for work. Today's ride is back on the trainer. Because I slept in and it was really, really cold this morning. So I decided to stay in bed and just do it on the trainer a bit later in the day. I have it fueled up ready with my Infinite Nutrition Premium. I'm making sure that it sits well on my stomach. It has previously sat well on my stomach, and I'm just dosing up on the amount of fructose and testing that out. I'm a bit nervous about this ride though, because my FTP went up a lot this week, and now this is the first time I've actually had to test that in a session. And I like to ride in erg mode on the indoor trainer, so it's going to make sure I stay at that level, and we'll see how this goes. First big effort done. That was a bit painful. Effort 2 was still hard, but not so bad. Hard efforts are done. A little bit of a recovery, and then the endurance starts. Just have to finish the ride off at zone 2 and then go for a little run off the bike. And my run is done for the day. That was a push. Today has just been more a mental struggle than anything else. Time to eat some food and recover and feel better tomorrow for my run. Okay, so today's is Sunday. We're back around to Sunday again. It's supposed to be a marathon repeat, so 3 by 8 minutes at zone 3. But given how I was feeling yesterday, I've decided to do today's run as a zone 2 heart rate and put some hills in there, so make sure I manage my heart rate up the hills, because there are some hills on the Sunshine Coast race course and I do need to be prepared for them. When I come around to Cairns next year, then it's going to be all flat and it won't matter so much. But that is the benefit of being my own coach and listen to how I feel. So I make the adjustments to my training as I go. Hence the Zone 2 run today. Nice and easy, and get everything ready to go for the week.